All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Rhonda Swan Show. You know, this whole week has been an amazing segment because I have been bringing on some of the most incredible women that are leaving an impact on the world with their gifts. And they are also part of the upcoming Women Gone Wild intuition book that we are launching this next year in 2023. But the reason why I want to bring these women on is because of the work that they're doing and why they are doing the work that they are. And where did that calling come from? And today we have a second timer here on the show, Stefanie Bruns, who's the founder of Business Flow Academy. She's also known as the quantum psychologist, an expert with over 20 years of experience in scaling business results, energy frequencies, and thus internal and external prosperity. Stefanie is renowned for creating rapid shifts in the energetic fields of her clients and their businesses that lead to healing, enhancements, and massive increases in vibrancy. From popular diagnosing where you have energy blocks to understanding your dreams or navigating transitions in life like family entanglement or even inexpectable panic attacks. Stefanie has successfully helped overcome all of these experiences for people who are what you would otherwise label as ultra successful. It happens to all of us. So let's bring Stefanie Bruns onto the show. So good to have you here, Mama. How are you?
Oh, thank you so much for the introduction. I'm fine, and hello to everyone who's attending.
Yeah, it's really good to have you here. I love listening. And, you know, every time I get to, go through everyone's bio, I'm like, wow. I think most people would say it at the end of that bio is like ultra successful people. I think many don't think that ultra successful people have these entanglements and have these situations. However, everyone's just human. Can you talk a little bit about like how you're getting people through these moments to excel even higher?
Yeah, so it's good to understand that, especially if you are ultra successful, it's worse because you don't have the illusion that money could fix everything. So if you don't have enough money, you still have the hope, okay, when I have the money, then this will be better. But when you have all the money, you figured out, oh no, it doesn't help, particularly in this case. So you have to dive deep. And if you understand quantum, then you understand everything is entangled. And this is sometimes hard because that means everything is multi-causal. So it can be a root cause, not only in this life, when you think, wow, I fixed my childhood, I went with my therapist, do all that shit. And you go deeper in quantum, you figure out, oh, it can't be from a last lifetime. It can be from a different wavelength. And then it's much more. And so you have to go deeper and you have to figure out what caused this problem that we call now, for example, burnout or stress. And then you can see, wow, it was the same soul family that caused this problem, but in another constellation. So, for example, those who are now your children, your parents, your partners could be in a different constellation in another lifetime. And then this stress, these experiences are still there in your cells. And that's why you are triggered and you can't explain it in this life. But if you have the knowledge of the other lifetimes and the past experiences, you can understand it. And what is more important, not only understand, but because you can get lost in all of these informations. More important is how you can fix it. So you can integrate lost soul parts, for example. You can create a new reality. And when you think, wow, that sounds weird. No, it isn't, because our brain is so flexible. We can recreate even the past, because if we understand there is not a linear time, then we understand, wow, every time is coexisting. And then we can do something about it and create a new experience. And that will shift things immediately.
Well, so all these things, of course, come up as you're speaking, and it made me think, you said that it makes me think of the phrase that when someone's triggered, you only see in others what you also see in yourself, right? And you now brought it from not just, what we are, but maybe even what we were in the quantum field and in other past lifetimes. Now, I mean, that's pretty intense when you say that, right? So how then does someone, because this is, it's like, I love it. I believe it. I understand it. But I think that so many are like, whoa, this is mind blowing, right? Like, this is completely mind blowing. However, it's the new conversation. So when you said that, how can like the normal person, let's just say, actually apply these type of principles into them shifting their own consciousness or addressing maybe what they're getting triggered by?
Yeah. So there's an easy rule. If you have tried to work with good coping strategies, for example, calm down, take a deep breath in if you are triggered, and don't react in an aggressive mode or in defensive mode, and it won't help. So that is an alarm. That is a sign that it must be something deeper.
Yeah.
And this is one thing. The other thing is you can use your body feedback. So, for example, you could do kinesiologic muscle testing, but it's not so easy to do the self-test if you are new into it. So it's more easy to use skin resistance tests. And with the skin resistance, you can feel what your body is doing. And for those who doubt and say, I don't know, I've never heard this, my doctor never told it to me.
Right.
It's all one system. So your body will react immediately on everything that is out there. If it's a glass of orange juice, if it's medicine, if it's someone, it would be someone as well, could be hay fever, for example. So is it really the hay fever that caused my symptoms? Your body will react immediately. You can measure the skin resistance, you can measure the stability of your muscles, or you can even test your pulse. It's all the same system, but the easiest way to test it for yourself is to test how your body is changing when you say, for example, certain words. And you can go we did this test on one of the last shows.
I love this test.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it again.
Yeah, love, freedom, and harmony. So if you test love, freedom, and harmony, and you say this loud and you rub your index fingers with your thumb,
love,
then
freedom, and harmony.
You can test it. And most of the people say it feels soft, it's smooth. So, and when we change the words and we say hate, war, and fear,
Sticky.
Then it's changing.
Sticky.
So even if you only think it,
right.
But if you want the true result, go and speak it loudly. And then you can say, I'm here, and it should be soft and smooth again because you are here. And you can say, I'm not here, and then it's changing because it's not true what you are saying.
This is craziness.
And so you can say, yeah, it is like this. My name is Rhonda.
My name is Rhonda.
It's sticky. It's soft. It's not feeling well. My name is Stefanie. Yes, it's smooth immediately. And then you can say, my problem is caused by something that is out of this lifetime, from another lifetime, from another dimension. And then you can feel, is it soft or is it rough? And then you have the evidence, and then you can do something about it. And the best thing is you don't need to go in detail. So sometimes it's necessary to know what happened in detail, but most of the cases, in 80% of the cases, it's enough to know, oh, it's only not from this lifetime. It's from another lifetime. It's from another dimension. And then you can fix it. And you can fix it like you would fix things in the here and now as well.
Yeah, this is amazing. I know you did this last time, so I'm like, I forgot about that. Wow, it's like such an amazing test though, because yeah, it's just like when I first learned about muscle testing. You were talking about muscle and skin
Yeah.
testing, the same thing. It was like there's just your body knows, and when you ask it the right questions, it's going to react to respond. I've always loved your work, of course, because I adore you and what you do. Was there a time though, Steph, when you use like conscious manifestation, like for the first time, like when you recognize like, wow, this is it. And how was that impact? How did it have on your life, the perceptions of life in itself? Like, do you remember that moment?
Yeah, of course. I've started using these techniques over 2 decades ago. And I started with small things. So manifesting a parking spot, manifesting a date, manifesting some things that happened. Even my at the university manifested it. So, and then it was a lot of fun to see, wow, what I really want, what I'm manifest will become reality if I go with some principles. And the principles is keep your vibration high. So don't be in a mood or use this. When you apply this, it's not a problem. So you can manifest even that your headache goes away, because it's energy medicine. If you know how to do it, it's so easy. And when we work with clients, it's amazing, because we can shift back pain in 1 hour. It's gone. People can move their arms again. It's gone. If we found the root cause of the problem, of the original trigger. And that's why we can help people who are super ultra successful with coping with some of their problems in their lives. And they have all of the same problems like everyone.
I've been having so many amazing conversations lately, especially because we are talking about intuition and frequency. And, I think this conversation is becoming more accepted, because it really wasn't as accepted before. I think it was like, whoa, that's for them and this is for us. And, even seeing, you're just talking about like medicine and how you can actually heal yourself as, just by getting into the root cause. I'm starting to meet doctors now that are utilizing this type of work, and they're shifting what they were doing before, because just even with integrity, they know that this is actually what these people need, instead of just giving them pills and treating them this way. So this conversation keeps coming up a lot. Now, we don't have to really look very far, right, to find a book or a video that's encouraging people to raise their frequency, right, and think positive thoughts. Like that's kind of out there, right? Yet still, I think there's a large number actually, of people who continue to lack what they seek in life. Like there's so much out there. Is there, you think, a large misunderstanding that we can clarify to our listeners today about that process of quantum creation and healing, and how is there so much out there about it, but so many are not tapping in?
Yeah. If you look, for example, at the definition of energy work, then you will find on Wikipedia strange informations. They talk like there would be no evidence. But in the last 2 and 3 decades, even 100 years ago, we have had a lot of evidence. A lot of scientific research had been done, but it's not published, or if so, some critics come and say, yeah, that's not good. And the question is, why though, when it's working? And you can see the movement comes out of the people. So it's like a movement. They figured out, okay, we have been to all the normal stuff, to all the school medicine, and we figured out we need help from another direction. And they go and they pay shamans, they pay alternative therapists. And that's why when you step into the field, you will figure out, wow, there's evidence that meditation works. There's evidence how the biophotons enter the body, how the biophotons change and the release is increased when you are in a state that's called coherence. And people can feel it. So if you are vibrant, you have another glow in your face. So if you have a bad mood, people can feel it. Even though if you would tell to someone, I'm fine, if you are sensitive, you can feel, no, that wasn't the truth. He's not fine. Something is going on with you. Come on, tell me.
Yeah.
Because we have this intuition. We know what is the truth and not. And you can be a good actor. If a sensitive person feels it, then you have no chance. Even you're playing, it would be fine. So when you look at all the data, we know everything is measurable. We can create the shifts not only in our body, we can see it in measurements like the pulse frequency, like biofeedback systems. And yeah, that's the way that we have to accept now. And yeah, you can see it. It's not a coincidence that people go further and further and step into it. So it's everywhere. Even in the books of children's, you will find information about yoga practice, meditation, and the chakras. And I'm always amazed by that because that's a sign. It's in the middle of the society already. So we can't ignore it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there's, and it's interesting, right? Because you said that this is what you said, and it rung for me. It's the people, right? The moment that we actually start being awake and recognizing, it's the people that are going to start bringing this out. And, you know, I don't go political on, you know, my show very often. However, it is magic that has been suppressed and not wanting to get out. And, you know, I believe now it's almost like the ceiling is hit and it's like blowing off because everyone's realizing. I mean, and you use some good examples, like you walk into a room and you know if someone's been fighting, right? You just know it. And you're like, you can like cut the energy and you walk in, you're like, oh, I maybe shouldn't be in here, you know? And people are like, oh, no, we're great, we're great. You're like, really? And if people actually recognize that that's real, that's the real energy that is around us all the time, and they could really use that. I mean, it's that frequency that you can measure, you can see it, you know what it is. And I think so many people they're believing so much of the garbage that's out there, you know, like if you think about the news and all the horrible things really that are happening in the world, it's easy for someone that isn't conscious and aware of what could happen into their mind to fall off the track, you know? And so what do you think now, like where we're going in society, we're now aware, yet all of this around us is happening. How do we stay in the frequency?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So where we are going is definitely clear. So we see this movement can't be stopped. Even though it can be slowed down, it can't be stopped because people feel it. People know it. We are getting more and more. The new generations are totally awake. So my kids, for example, they use energy work without that I'm teaching it to them. Yeah. So they teach it to their kids, to their friends, and they are using it. So you can't stop this process. So people know it. And even though there is a lot of things going out there, and as you said, we don't want to get political, but political, it's important to understand it's a question of focus. So where your focus goes, your energy flows. And if I focus, for example, on the news, my system will react immediately. You can test it now with skin resistance. So look at some news reports and then look at the nature, look at the flower, look at the bee, and you will feel, wow, your system will stabilize itself immediately. And it's important to understand it's not only your skin resistance that is changing, it's the cell membrane potential. So the cell membrane potential should be ideally on -70 to -90 millivoltage. If it's below -50, then you are not in your highest state of awareness. So you are tired, fatigue, and all of the stuff. If it's lower, if it's only -15, you will have, it is a wrong cell divination. So, and that causes cancer and all this stuff. So that means if you focus on the wrong things, your cell membrane potential is not in the ideal state. You can't do what you want to do. If you focus and you see the news and say, oh, it's important to know, okay, and Russia is going on this and that, but then focus on something else, and your energy will go immediately into a higher state. You can measure it, you can feel it, you know it. So the art of being in a high state is nothing else than only being aware. So if you are together with people that drains you down, so reduce the time you are with them. And then you can do things that lifts you up. So this is the most important thing. And if you say, "Wow, but I have a family and I have a job and I have to be there, so I can't step out of the system," of course, but you can add some nice stuff to it, and you can reframe your things that you are doing. So if you understand, out there are no enemies, out there are only people that try to help you consciously or subconsciously to be in a higher state, then you know, wow, they are my master trainers. My kids are my master trainers to stay in a high frequency.
Yeah, they are, right? Hanalei is the same. It's like you just feel it, you know, and we can learn so much from them. I know, like, every time I'm just in her space, you just calm, you know, and there's such that overflowing frequency that comes from our kids, because they don't see the world, you know, negatively. They don't have that filter. You know, those filters are slid in, you know, slowly by crazy society. But if we keep them clean and clear, right? This is why your kids, my daughter, they're just growing up and they're becoming these teachers. So Stefanie, I really always love this conversation with you. I mean, it just expands my mind. It reminds me so many things. You're doing some incredible stuff right now in Portugal. Will you talk about like the events that you're running and what's next for you? Because I know so many people are going to be like, how do I, you know, dive more deeply into this work with you?
Yeah. So we have always amazing cooperations with other thought leaders in this field, and we run big events. So one of the next ones will be next year together with Jerry from Star Magic. It will be in English. Some of my stuff is in German. Next one will be energy medicine. Next year, we will go to intergalactic medicine. Ooh. So we use systems that comes from other planets, and we can tap into the starseed potential. So this is amazing stuff, because we can create rapid shifts out of the nowhere. And I see it every day. So it can be so quick. We can create shifts in the relationship, in the body, and even in this field of success, in the business of someone, in the career. And this is amazing, because it's not comparable to something that was here already. So some of the stuff is really old, comes from the ancient times, but we have a frequency shift on the planet. So that means not everything that is old is good anymore. So we have to adapt. We have some new technology, so we can work with a surgery team from the stars. It's all imaginary, but you can see the shift. And if the clients go to scan afterwards, the problem is not there anymore. And this is fascinating stuff. That's why we expand all of this energy medicine and we go to intergalactic medicine. Yeah.
Ooh, Ooh, I love that. How much of it is in English? Is it mostly, you said, in German? Some's
Yeah,
in English?
next year it will be in English. So the intergalactic medicine with Jerry from Star Magic Healing is in English and it's in Portugal. Yeah, and we always run it hybrid, so people can attend online, can come to Portugal. So we open it up and we work both ways because we know it's not easy for everyone to travel these days. And yeah, that's why it's super easy to attend.
I love it. Oh, thank you so much, Stefanie. I'm so excited not only for what you're creating, what you do in the world, being part of this book and the frequency that this book is holding. We're seeing so much beauty and the authors that are coming forward. It's like, wow, this is a real true mission. You know, we have a lot of fun together. However, the mission is very true. And it's how do we, you know, inspire more women to really listen to themselves, tap into that intuition and allow, you know, what they're brought onto this planet to do. And you're such a guiding light for that. So thank you for coming on the show again. I know it's your morning in Portugal. Have an amazing rest of your day. And I can't wait to see you soon.
Yeah, can't wait. I'm waiting for the book. It will be mind-blowing. Yeah.
That's right. Sure will.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, Darlie. Have a
May you
good
be
love
blessed.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.